I think we've all had that fantasy, right? What if I won the lottery? Oh yeah. And in this fantasy, hey, it's my fantasy, what if I won $1 billion lottery? Tax-free to make it easy, right? What if I had $1 billion? What would I do with it? Well, I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't go out and buy an insanely priced audio system, the best of the best of the best. I would not be that guy. No. What I would be doing with that $1 billion is buying my favorite audio companies. And this is hardly a complete list. I would buy Zoo, and I would buy Magnapan, and I would buy Past Labs, and LTA, and Magico, and ELAC, Harbeth, Audeze. I would buy a lot of companies. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with all that stuff in a second. But if you're just come here for the first time, welcome. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like what I do here and you're sticking around, please consider subscribing to the channel. Oh, and the other bit of news before I continue with my $1 billion fantasy is, at the conclusion of today's episode, I will feature one of your systems, one of my viewer systems, with pictures and words at the end of the episode. So stick around for that. But back to the $1 billion fantasy. See, what my goal, I'm not just buying these companies to own them and play with them as toys. No. I want to help them make better products and distribute them through the world, streamline distribution, open brick and mortar stores. I got a lot to talk about here with my $1 billion fantasy. But the main goal is to increase the visibility of audiophile-oriented audio or high-end audio, however you want to phrase it. I want to present it to the wider world. Because as it stands right now, and the way it's always been actually, it's our little secret. Audiophiles know about this stuff. But the average man or woman walking down the street, no, they don't know we're here. They have no clue. And that just seems wrong to me, because if they did know, if more people knew about high-end audio / audiophile gear, it would be a much bigger market, and the overall quality, the experience of listening to music at home would be raised. So that's really what I want to do. And that's what this $1 billion fantasy is really all about. So yes, I would basically want to create a chain of stores across the US and selected countries around the world to present audio in the best possible light, especially in places that are current audio deserts where there are no stores. The other thing is, I would not just be in cities, I would also want to have these outlets on college campuses. I would want to have them at concerts, at Lollapalooza, at Carnegie Hall, wherever I could get it in to have some exposure to people who love music. That would be my agenda. So yeah, I would want to use this bankroll to heighten awareness, which is zero now, so it wouldn't be hard to make it better, of audiophile / high-end audio to the wider world. And one of the ways I would want to do this is I would want to create a new print magazine. There would also be an online version, of course, and I would seek to attract the best writers on the planet, audio writers on the planet, to do reviews and just other pieces, and also the best photographers to take incredible pictures. This stuff, when you see it in person, is so gorgeous. Well, some of it is at least, right? And just the appeal of it as an object, I think, is something that's been ignored. So many magazines and websites now just use the pictures that the manufacturer gives them, which is okay, but we could do much, much better on that front. So this new magazine, which would be in English and in French and Russian and Spanish and Japanese, it would be translated into all languages. So it would be there for everybody is the point. Hey, it's my fantasy again, right? Another aspect of this fantasy is to fund startup companies, new audiophile-oriented companies, affordable gear, high-end gear, makes no difference. If they seem like they had a great idea, I would want to bankroll them and get them up and running. The other thing I want to get into is to buy small record companies to help them, to support them so that they can continue making recordings that are not dynamically compressed or equalized or processed or messed around with. People that are making recordings that sound like the music, like the band, is actually playing together in a beautiful acoustic space. That's what it's a personal thing for me, and I would want to support record companies that do that. Not exclusively, they don't have to only make audiophile-oriented records, but people want to make records that they're not trying to follow trends or anything. They're just making really interesting music and record it in a beautiful way. I would seek to support those companies. So yeah, you know what? The $1 billion lottery win is pure fantasy. But I know what is real. What is real is this YouTube channel and other YouTube channels that are reaching a much wider audience than was ever really possible before, right? That we, the channels, are raising awareness that this stuff exists. It exists, it's cool, it can change your life, it can really heighten your experience of listening to music. It's incredibly rewarding, and that's why I keep doing it. So that's real. And I've asked before that some of you, where possible, I would like you to try to grow new audiophiles. By that I mean, let's say a coworker or friends or family or relatives or something, that some people, hear your system and they go, yeah, whatever, right? But some people will hear it and they'll get that little spark. Yeah, maybe I would want to get something like this. Yeah, they're thinking. That's it. So if each one of you could grow one new one, right? One new audiophile, and nurture him or her along the path, guiding them, maybe some hand-me-down gear that you're not using anymore so they can try it at home, that sort of thing, that would be amazing. That would be incredible. If that is happening, yeah, you should. That's it. You know what? I just thought of this on the spot. If you've already done that and it's taken root with this person, it's a great story. So shoot me a note, short, don't write a whole essay, to me at audiophiliac@mail.com. Not Gmail, audiophiliac@mail.com. Picture would be even better, right? You could take a picture of the person with their system or just their system, whatever works. Send that to me. I would very much appreciate it, because the fantasy is just a fantasy, but this is reality. We can make this industry, this hobby, maybe that's a better word, grow. It needs to grow. It needs to grow because I think there's a lot of people out there, if they had the exposure to it, to quality audio, would want that for themselves in whatever way possible. That would be really, really terrific. So, coming back, dipping back into reality, I've had a lot of lucky breaks as an audiophile. Because, in my career selling audio in a brick and mortar store and meeting so many people and talking to so many people face to face about audio and sharing the experience of listening to it face to face, that sort of was the bedrock of my writing career and now my YouTube career. And my experience of hearing so much when I was in retail on the stores that I worked at, which were primarily to Innovative Audio and Sound by Singer. But then later as a reviewer, and having done so many reviews in my life and hearing so much, far more than a normal civilian audiophile could ever imagine. So that was freaking fantastic, and I'm grateful to be in this position to talk about it. So yeah, my fantasy of $1 billion, that's all it is a fantasy. But my real life work in the audio industry has been, a dream? Yeah, kind of in a way, because I love what I do so much. So, as I've said before, it's not how much a system costs that makes it great. It's not that the most expensive systems are 1 billion times better than the cheap ones, or even 10 times better, right? That's not the point. The point is that the owner of the system is enjoying the music on their system. Here we are. It is time for the Audiophiliac viewer system of the day. And maybe I haven't explained this, but this is a system that one of you guys sent to me, a picture of it, and now I'm showing it to the rest of you guys. So it's like a show and tell for audiophiles. So check this out, and I will be right back. This one comes from Ed. He's 52 years old. He's living in Madrid, Spain. The system is what he calls old school. In this case, it's from the 1990s. But Ed is streaming now. It took a long time to convert all of his CDs to FLAC files. Now the speakers, they look extremely familiar. Those are Martin Logan Monolith-III's, and he's also using a Martin Logan Monolith-IIIx active crossover. But I'm a little confused because he only refers to one set of power amps, two Audio Research 240s Mark II, and those are bridged to mono. So that's only a pair of channels. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. The speaker cables are MIT Terminator 4s. The streamer is a Linn Klimax Renew DSM. There is a CD transport in the system. It's a Marantz CD16, but he's really not using that much anymore. Thanks, Ed. That was pretty sweet. Speaking of sweet, my name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching. If you dig what I do, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Yeah, and by the way, if you really like what I do, please take this extra step and check out my Patreon, which can be found at patreon.com/audiophiliac. Definitely come back on Saturday, August 14th. I have a very special announcement on the 14th about the show. And with that, I could say my work here is at last complete. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I really do hope to see you, and maybe a billion of your closest friends, back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.